is the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello, this is episode 124 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. I'm Michael Ball, and if you're on YouTube, please don't sign off. A lot of people seem to disappear after 30 seconds, and we've got a lot to talk about here, and we've got some interesting things to actually discuss. I'm joined once again by the demigod of science fiction knowledge, way up in the cold, snowy London. It is, by the gods of science fiction, Martin Fowler.
Hello. God, I cringed then, really.
You've given me some bad intros yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
How you doing?
So how are you, my friend? How are you? It's been a week.
Yeah, we're fine. It's we're sort of finishing the school and everything on Friday. We're recording this on Wednesday, so I've just got 2 more days. I am really ready for a break. Since I moved house 6 weeks ago today, I have not had one day off apart from the weekends, which is ridiculous. We moved house during work, which is crazy as well. So yeah. It's going to be nice now because I think Christmas in some ways, although I'm not that big a fan because I'm 50, I think it's preferable to have the build up, and then once Christmas is done, it's kind of like then you just sort of like you want to get on with the sort of like the New Year kind of thing. So this year I'll have a bit of a break to enjoy the build up of Christmas before it actually arrives, whereas in some years before you get Christmas like 2 days after the schools break up. So yeah. How about you? I mean, it's been snowing in your part of the world. We've not had it in Portsmouth, but you've had it in London. And I've seen some of your snowy pictures as well.
Yes.
And it's cold. It's cold outside.
Everything just stops, man.
Yeah.
Everything stops. Can't get anywhere. Do you know what I mean? It just
well, in the autumn, it's the wrong type of leaf.
They're on strike.
Oh,
if
I know.
Not striking. Everything else stops.
And I've noticed now
I mean?
On the roads that people are starting to get that manic thing that you get every year where people are actually rushing around to get all the crap involved with Christmas. And it's that build up now. I hate this time of year. I'm sorry. I don't like it. It's awful. Is it really bad up where you were? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It were bad on Sunday, yes.
Yeah, I know.
Monday I couldn't get out. Monday was just
can't be sort of like dealing with it. No. Well, the thing is, though, I mean, unlike other years, there's post strikes, there's bus strikes, the nurses are out. I mean, it's whole.
And they've got every right to be out and all this. The thing is, I'd say it just affects our lives, doesn't it? But
everything's falling apart. That's the problem.
Everything's just falling apart. Are we moving into Soylent Green? Is this where it's coming now?
It's the same year. It's the same year.
Yeah.
2022.
You know what I mean?
Next Tuesday is Soylent Green Day.
Or are we moving into a post-apocalyptic world like Mad Max, where we all rise up and suddenly insanity takes over, and next year we're all running around with bow and arrows on our arms and leather underpants.
Last year it was like Survivors, with everybody was like,
we've done that, haven't we? We've done
Survivors, we've done Soylent Green, and we're doing Mad Max within the space of 3. What a good time of the world to live in, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about a film which is sort of like a post-apocalyptic, but it is really because it's after a nuclear war, and that is the sequel to the movie which I re-edited recently. I absolutely adore the original. I absolutely adore the sequel, and that is Beneath the Planet of the Apes, which it's so good.
Even now, that film still blows my mind.
I think. Do you know what really sticks in my mind? It sticks in my mind is the mutants when they're singing to the bomb.
Yeah,
and they have all things white and wonderful. Yeah. The Lord Bomb destroys us all. Or something. Go on.
When I saw Planet of the Apes, I was a kid. I didn't see the film. I saw the TV series.
I know. I didn't see that.
That's what I saw. And then a few years later, when TV stations buy the movies, they showed the premiere of Planet of the Apes on the BBC. And a couple of years after that, I think I was about 12. And the second one, it was near Christmas actually.
Okay.
The second one, they showed it on a Saturday night. I remember because I watched it with my family, and it started off where I sort of get what were going on,
That's right.
And then when he met these like underdwellers, And that scene when they all took them, when they're
God.
worshipping the bomb, I
Yeah.
was absolutely shit scared.
It really is creepy.
It was like
really
it
creepy.
were like everything I knew had been turned upside down in this insane world. Everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And honestly, it's one of the best science fiction films.
I
One of the
absolutely
best sequels
love
ever.
it. I exactly the same. I think Terminator 2 is one of the best sequels as well.
Aliens.
And Aliens as well. But this is on the same level.
Oh, God, yeah.
I consider it as equal to the original. Because the original is just so creepy. Charlton Heston was so good, but this one, it just works so well for me as well.
I just feel sorry for Brent in this.
Yeah, I mean, let's
Brent.
ask about. I mean, I've got my Wikipedia, so I'll go through some information on my new Flash iPad, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. But sorry, I was just such a git sometimes, aren't I? But what did you think about the way that his character was, how he interacted with? Because he does meet Taylor near the end of the movie. He gets involved with Nova as well. Tell me what you think about his character.
Well, Taylor's like, Brent's like, he's dedicated to his job, and I think he's a straightforward thinking type of guy. You know, he volunteered for a deep space mission, an FTL ship, one of the first, because there were 5 built apparently.
Weren't they looking for Taylor's ship though, weren't they?
Yeah, they were,
It was like a rescue thing, wasn't it?
They built 5 Liberty class ships that they sent out.
Right. And we only 2. If they made any more, then it would have they would have got there after the nuclear.
Well, I think I sent you a clip months ago. Roddy McDowell, when the TV series, when they premiered it, they turned them into movies, like the edited.
Oh, you mean TV movies? Yeah, sort of like.
But he did an intro as Galen?
Galen, or yeah.
And in the final intro, he said Taylor, Verdun and Burke. They got back. They found something. He said in this intro, because he's sat with his family. He said, Verdun and Burke, they found the computer and they got back.
Well, that TV series,
they got back.
What I liked about, I mean, obviously we're focusing on the
5
film,
ships disappeared,
but
except theirs.
That one, because it is linked to the movies, but it got there earlier, didn't it? It got there about.
No, because it's all a bit weird because history's changed. They went to another timeline.
Oh, I thought it was the same timeline. This is earlier.
This is the genius of Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But no, because when Taylor goes through in the book, this book I read, right, which you're gonna have to write, that when the Liberty is travelling through FTL, it makes itself coming back, and there's some kind of wake.
Oh, some sort of disruption or something.
Yeah, so when the apes are coming that way and he's going that way, it makes like only this temporal thing. Oh, this is what it says in the book, right? So, and the computer on their ship reacts to it. Now, Verdun and Burke, from what I've looked into, I could be wrong, but this is what I've researched. They, like, you've got Dr. Zaius, and you've got Dr. Zaius in the movie. And then you've got General Urko in the and then you've got Ursus in the film. Right. I think because the humans talk in there, history's took a different thing. Because in that book, whatever happened to Earth in that time frame happened somewhere in the mid-24th century. Some disaster that changed everything. Because there's that book when they're in that cave with that human that can talk, and he didn't understand the stuff in the book. And Verdun says to Burke, he said, "This is way beyond our time. There's technology in all this."
Right, that's interesting.
So this apocalyptic thing happened somewhere, but I assume I've always thought it were different timeline. They came from the same planet. Them two came from the same world as Taylor.
I knew that. I figured that out. I actually thought they got there like 1,000 years earlier or something.
In this book, it fills the gaps. In the book, there's a bit in the book where Brent meets Verdun and Bert. They're being trained up for a mission to Alpha Centauri in a different type of craft.
Right.
You know, they don't have to go to sleep in it. And it seems that when they all took this trajectory, there's some kind of time thing, and it sends them it's like a nexus of timelines. But they get back. Whether they went back to their world, I don't know. But
yeah,
I could be wrong. This
no. I mean, like I said,
book.
it's. I mean, obviously,
time travel.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting
because in Planet of the Apes 3, when the 3 apes come back, there's a plague that wipes out cats and dogs, isn't there?
That's right. And then they have apes as pets.
Yeah, they have apes as pets. But in the 3rd one, somewhere, no, sorry, in the 5th movie, you see the lawgiver.
Yes.
And at the end, he sees her crying the statue, but the lawgiver's there. But humans and apes are all living together in peace.
At the end, they're actually it has
So
a
the
proper
timeline-
resolution.
There's some cat. There's
timeline
has changed.
I thought the timeline though had changed based on the events on the 3rd movie, where
It did. Yeah.
So, but I thought it was just that because they went back in time with Taylor's ship. But then I haven't really thought about the TV series, how that fitted in.
I think they're there 1,000 years before.
Yeah, but that's what I thought.
Earlier.
But I thought that it was the original timeline was just that 1,000 years before, humans were still talking, apes were still in more of a kind of relationship where they're slightly more equal.
But it never explains why.
But humans de-evolve as the series goes further into the future.
It never explains that.
They almost become like cavemen kind of thing. Whereas
in the new movies, it explains that.
Oh, I should check that out.
The new movies, because that's where they fill in a lot of blanks.
Right.
In the new films, because when they create that dementia cure that cures his dad, when it leaks into a virus, and that pilot...
That's what's the thing that starts
dumbing down the human beings, and then up in the apes.
I love that. I love that.
It's genius.
I mean, so let's go back to the Beneath the Planet of the Apes. So, it was certainly, I mean, from what I understood, that Charlton Heston really didn't want to be involved in the second movie.
No, he didn't.
Now, I think that from his perspective, he made a classic with the original, and I think he had some legal binding contract where he had to appear. I might be wrong about this one, and he did in a more of a minimalistic thing. He starts off at the beginning, and then he's disappeared until the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie. Yeah. So, do you think the movie works okay without Taylor's character?
Yeah, I do.
Because I do too.
But that's the mystery. What happened to Taylor? What happened?
Well, Taylor.
You didn't see him at the beginning.
We saw him. No, but from what I understood, that he was heading towards the area where the underground mutants were, and they had do you remember they had these illusions? So
the psychic projections.
Didn't he walk through or fall through a projection?
Yeah,
and then
the rifle,
and then Nova didn't know what was going on. She went off. And then then he was just imprisoned then, wasn't he? He was just then imprisoned in the mutants' area where they're based, and he was just captured until the end of the movie.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on with mutant in the book. This book it filled in the gaps. There's a lot more going on with them. There's another tribe of them.
Right, but what I'm saying is
big computers as well.
What I'm saying is that from what we physically saw in the movie. As you say,
the movie.
It's interesting what you're saying. What I'm simply saying is that in the movie, he appeared that he went near where they're based, and they use illusions to dissuade normally apes from coming anywhere near.
And he.
Out. Oh, am I? Oh, God, hang on.
Yep.
Okay, am I back?
Yeah. Now I can hear you now.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. And so it was basically he was just captured, and they didn't know what to do with him. And I don't know why he wasn't just killed. He was just like kept in kept in prison or something, or
because they'd been to Ape City.
And so were they trying to get more information because of what he learned?
Yeah, they wanted to know. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Because the apes don't know about them anymore. The apes the Underdwellers got lost to history, didn't they? Yeah. And that place became, what was it? The Forbidden Zone.
Yeah, the Forbidden Zone, wasn't it? And of course,
you know what the apes are like with technology and all that. They're very suspicious of all that.
Well,
aren't they?
is it Dr. Zaius was the one that he knew about
Well, he knows the
humanity.
truth, yeah.
He knew, and he was one of the few that did know the truth. He was
Yeah,
doing everything he could to hide it.
Yeah.
And in the end, but then they are made aware that something's going on with the underdwellers, whatever they're called, the mutants.
Well, they know something's out there.
And they go to investigate, don't they?
Yeah.
They go to investigate.
And like Ursa says, if it eats, you can kill it. That's what he says. If it needs to eat. But we don't know what is beyond the Forbidden Zone. We don't know what's beyond that. And that fascinates me, because there must be something else beyond the Forbidden Zone at the other side.
But also, it's just concentrating on the western side, the eastern side of America, because it's near New York. So what about the rest of America? What about other countries in the world?
I don't know. That's what I mean. The apes have not really gone beyond that territory. They've built an empire in that part of the country.
In America, but
in that part of America.
What about other parts of the world? Where
I don't know. They don't seem to be sending ships out and exploring and.
Yeah, so
because when that clever ape, when he starts messing about with electricity in the book, they stop it. They don't like that. Zayas comes down on him. Because anything like that, any technology, same in TV series when they find that vault with all human knowledge, that Zayas system, we can't have it because who can you trust? This is power. They're terrified of it because yet again they copied our own society.
Yes, but of course some of the people that know the background are terrified of history repeating itself with the way that humanity destroyed itself. Now, of course, later on in the movie we get Taylor and everything, and of course we get these religious mutants who are praying to the bomb. I mean, how did you find the interaction with the apes when they sort of start to just want to destroy the mutants and
there's a couple of scenes I do like. I like the scene when Brent is in the woods, in the bushes, and then you focus. I love General Ursus, the ape, the gorilla, giving that war speech.
Yep,
absolutely fantastic. What such persona. And then we find Taylor, and this is at the end. Say when he says when Brent's like, my God, they're worshipping a nuclear bomb. It's like everything has just been turned upside down. Everything you know, but I can't understand why the underdwellers are treating them like that, because they've been in the mines, so they know where they come from.
Yeah, it is a sort of strange one. I mean, there are some things which aren't quite sort of explained properly and slightly sort of like. I mean, I was looking at the information here. So, I mean, Roddy McDowall wasn't in this one, which is surprising. Luckily, his character really wasn't featured very heavily anyway, and it was clever how, because they weren't actually present in this area, they were at the same time they found Taylor's ship and they managed to get it going. They managed to and you talked about how they did that from the books and everything. We talked about this briefly last week. And it was actor David Watson who played Cornelius, but it sort of worked. I mean,
you don't even think about it, really.
You don't.
I never thought about it.
Yeah.
It's like the insane, the underdwellers. The scene that did me when I was watching it, and they were all singing like with nuclear bombs.
It was the singing bit. That was the bit that that's in my head
now. It freaks me out. It still affects me.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, when they reveal themselves, because I wasn't expecting that.
No, they wear masks and stuff like that.
With the faces and all that. I was like, and they were just as insane as the apes.
Well, I think that was the most powerful scene, was when they were in church, praying to the bomb, singing this really creepy song. And then it sounded a bit like all things. Yeah, and then of course they removed their masks and they're all disfigured and the radiation burns and all this sort of stuff. I loved it. I think it was so strong, so solid. So I suppose at this point we should ask about how you felt about how the actual movie ended. It was certainly memorable for the last 15-20 minutes. Did you originally think...
Where could you have gone with it after that?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I suppose...
the apes sat the underdwellers. Taylor and Brent escape into the negative zone. and just keep on moving.
Yeah.
We know that. I mean, obviously, that's the way you would go with it, and they just end up slaughter.
But did you think that the bomb would actually be set off at the end of the movie?
No. That was the shock. That was the headbanger moment.
And I said this to you before. I did this joke. I said that it was the last bit at the end where some narrator says, once upon a time there was a little planet called Earth, and now this little planet is now gone. And it was the most downbeat, oddest bloody ending of any movie I've ever seen.
It were like thousands of years of history and bloodshed and wars and technology, and the universe just carries on and don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's basically this little
they
planet
were just
is gone.
Pointless, all of them.
It's sort of like made the whole of humanity and everything that this planet has been for, and it was just like, now this planet is no more, and it was such a surreal end to that movie. And I thought it was. I mean, also Nova gets killed off. I think, did she get shot?
I think so. Yeah,
I think she got shot.
Yeah, she got it.
And then Brent gets shot.
That's when he pressed the button.
Yeah, he said
that's what inspired him.
He said it's doomsday, the end of the world, and he presses the button. I thought, oh my god!
He said, what he said? Damn you all to hell or something.
No, that was when he discovered the Statue of Liberty.
Oh right, he said something though, didn't he? He came out with something quite profound when he pushed that lever down, because that's Zeus. I mean, you know. And
he knew, he said it could destroy us all, and he was the only one that knew what it was. The others just thought it was just like a monument.
Well, they didn't know it was beyond them. All of them.
I loved it.
Technology,
it was so good.
And that's what we're because I was watching it, and when he blew up that planet, that voice coming, pointless little planet that nobody gives a shit about has just gone, and life goes on, and it's like, but when you're watching both films, you're getting this ideology of how superior the apes are and the chosen, and then when you meet the underdwellers, you're getting the reverse with them. They're the chosen from the holy bomb, and they're all dedicated. So they're both as bad as each other.
But what technology did the underdwellers have? They had telepathy. They had.
They devolved. They had
mental. They had
electricity.
Okay, but they were like in some sort of covered up area. They were like were they under New York in like the subways or something?
It were from the that film where they is it number 4 is it number 4 or 5 where the underdwellers attack them when the Caesar.
It's either 4
when
or
you've
5.
got Caesar. Well, that's them.
I think it might be 5 because 4 was the one where apes were pets. And that's with the governor, with that dodgy governor, we're enslaving them all and that. And then the 5th one was the one where it was sort of battle for Planet of the Apes, which I think is what it was called, the 5th one. So
I mean, they say that's the worst one.
I like them all. I mean, it's not the best one, but I didn't dislike it. I didn't dislike any of them.
No. Do you know, for some reason, when I watched them all, and I didn't think about it. It would just seem more of that universe for me.
I think there's a slight Star Trek Picard era-esque issue with the 3rd one, where it was based on contemporary Earth, rather than the future kind of thing. I know it's not the same thing at all, but I think maybe the 3rd one was interesting, but in the end it was just 3 Planet of the Apes on Earth. But it was still good as well. I like the whole series. I mean,
but it's very. I mean, this is before Terminator and all this as well.
It has such dark things. I mean, the baby dies.
The chosen one that will lead his people to freezing as prophesized.
But then there's a bit where the baby gets like killed. I mean, in the 3rd.
Oh
one.
It's rough.
This is really dark stuff.
It does. I mean, it starts off. They're all in hotels and they're all darlings on media circuit in the world.
Yeah, and then that guy wants to kill them off because he knows.
Asaline. Well, he's the one. He's the one that built. He's the genius that created the ship with the photon drive. He understands all time travel because when she reveals when he gets her drunk. that about how he kept all
that's
us
right.
in suits.
Yes.
That have got him all paranoid.
That's what starts the whole thing spiraling.
It does.
We will talk about the third one another time, but it's a solid sequel.
It is a dark scene,
third one.
though, before we move on. When he shoots that baby, it's dark.
Oh God, I know.
It starts off like a Disney movie.
Yeah, and then Caesar gets
lovely.
shot, and he's sort of like he collapses. Oh, it's awful. Honestly, I'll get goosebumps just thinking about the third one.
You look at this franchise. There's so much going on in there.
Do you consider I mean, obviously you've got the 5 original movies, and then we've got the
TV series. Yeah.
Right now, but do you consider the recent remake? Well, recent movies, the trilogy. I mean, the apes look different. It's a bit different. How do you like them? See them as like proper sequels or a reboot, remake? I know it's linked, but go on.
To me, in the first one, the new one that came out, the Liberty one is launched at the beginning of the film.
Yeah, I remember you saying
halfway through the film, it's lost in deep space. So that's
So it is the link.
The later sequels, and then we get into the whole development of the balance of power where it shifts over.
Right.
The third one, I found it.
I can't remember the third one actually. I can't remember.
It was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, I need to see all those again. I mean, I'm very familiar with the originals.
The second one's the best one, I thought.
I think the actual special effects of the new ones are fantastic. The apes look really good. But then it's the special effects don't make a movie, do they? It's about this. But I don't really remember the third one.
You've forgotten one, you know.
Yes, there is. I know what you're going to say. There was another one made in about 2001 or something, completely, and it had Charlton Heston in it apparently. And it does. I don't remember that at all. What was that like?
I quite enjoyed it.
I don't remember that one. I have seen it, but I can't remember it. So it kind of.
You know how I say all this? I say that Taylor, when he went into his light speed, he opened a gap in and the destruction of Earth, it saw a hole in reality, and it opened up multiple timelines. And I think all that through that one reaction created the Tim Burton movie and the new. These are all spin-off timelines.
Yeah, multiverse.
From that one.
Multiverse.
Yeah.
Multiverse. Okay.
And I think that's the best way to see it.
Yeah.
So it's all sort of connected. But number 2, I have to say, number 1's a masterpiece, but number 2 is my favourite.
I do you know what?
I don't know why.
I'm surprised you said that. I can't. I would have to say I like them both equally. I can't have a favourite. They're both as strong as each other.
Yeah.
Because I love them both. I love them both.
Did you know what the other idea was for what the sequel were going to be?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell me. What were they going to do?
A friend of mine bought me this guidebook on Planet of the Apes, and the scripts in there of when they were wanting to do it, because the first one did so well.
Yeah.
They didn't know where to go with the sequel, right? So the sequel we're going to be Charlton Heston in the negative zone. He finds a tribe of humans.
Right.
And he educates them all. He has children with Nova. And he starts advancing them.
Oh, making his own sort of community kind of thing.
Yeah, and then he attacks the apes.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
And there's a big, massive war between these like more intelligent humans in it.
Who will also talk as well.
It takes the planet back, and at the end, Dr. Zaius is set 10, 20 years later. Humans are in a zoo, and you've got Dr. Zaius stuck behind some bars.
Oh, so it's like it's his comeuppance kind of thing after the first one. That would have been interesting to see. But,
that's what I thought. So you can read this online.
I mean, I'm really glad with what they did, but I'm always interested in sort of like alternative ideas kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously it's never happened, but you never know. At some point they could.
What about the ape religion? The beast called man.
Beware
his neighbour. Beware. Go on.
Beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. Pawn? It is. Let him not breed in large numbers, for he is the harbinger of death.
Yeah.
I don't know how I remember that.
And he will kill you for your land and your wealth for something. Or for your woman. It's really damning, isn't it?
Yeah. Because Caesar. He says that at the end of part 1 when they let Taylor go, and it's like the scripture and everything. And the law is it the lawgiver? Is that the first? Is that the
lawgiver? Yeah, but he's been manipulated over centuries.
Well, I have to say it's a bit like
the lawgiver in that final movie. When he's talking, there's all them kids sat around, ape kids, they're all friends.
Yes.
He seems quite benevolent.
Yeah.
You know, that we all live in peace together and all this.
Yeah, but isn't this also like a slight stab at religion, how it can be slightly into... I mean, I'm not going to go into this heavy thing, but how religion over the generations or even the centuries can be interpreted in different ways. And
yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not religious myself.
No, I'm not. But that's the beauty.
That's the way I see it. I think there's partly a mission. It's partly a sort of like a bit of a jab at religion in general.
Yeah, beware the beast called man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it had an effect when I heard it. Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty damning conclusion of us, isn't it? Really.
It is.
But they're just as bad as us. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's the hypocrisy of it.
It is a certainly interesting one. Now, our Zoom is going to pack up in 4 minutes, and then we're going to do the sort of like news of the week. So let's finish off our review of this fantastic movie. So, I guess how would you rate it out of 10? What would you give it? Because mine's going to
give it a 10.
Yeah, I'll give it a 10 as well. I'll give them both a 10. Sorry, I don't normally give 10s, but yeah. Both movies.
I think we'd be shot down if we gave it any less.
I love them both. They're very special, and I mean I will say that the others 3, 4, 5 are not 10s. They're still good.
No.
But the first
you start
two
going
are 10s.
Down, don't you?
Yeah, it goes down. And we'll do a review of before the Planet of the Apes. I think the film was called. In due course.
I think we should cover all the movies. Actually,
we'll
get through the original. Yeah. And then the Tim Burton one, and
I mean, obviously we intertwine them with other things, but yeah, I mean, we still got to do the second Terminator film, and all those. We've got to do some of the Star Wars movies. We've got lots to talk about and stuff like that. So, Martin, thank you very much for reviewing that one. It's been a thoroughly good movie. I'm glad that you felt exactly the same as I did, which is excellent. Okay, at that point, we shall go into our Solar One Sci-Fi news. Here we go. Right, so it's been another week with not a lot of new sci-fi. And one thing I have seen, which Martin, you'll be very impressed with, I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, it was actually really good. It was I didn't know. Because it was obviously a special. It was more like a sort of like advert for the forthcoming movie.
I can't say, but it was good. I thought Kevin Bacon.
Bacon. I always liked Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
I've seen with him, so that was quite good.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing I've seen. You've there was a Marvel thing that you were looking to check out. What was it? Something.
Werewolf by Night. Absolutely superb.
So is it a proper Marvel film, is it?
I think it's like I think what they're doing now, Marvel's going through
changes.
Yeah, I think what they've realised is they're going back to quality than quantity.
Yeah.
And this was a tester for the pilot episode, and as a special, I was very impressed with it.
Okay.
A lot of people won't know the characters. If you don't read Marvel, these are like minor characters that had a bit of a cult following in the 70s.
Right.
But they use them on and off. It's more the Doctor Strange side of the universe.
So, do you think that they're going to go more towards sort of like TV movie kind of things rather than the big, huge blockbuster?
They have saturated.
The market
I've not seen. Oh. Hang on, somebody's at the door.
There's somebody at the door. Okay. All right. We'll wait for Martin to come back in a second. But I think that Martin is actually correct that Marvel has somewhat oversaturated the market. I've actually not seen some of the most recent Marvel films. Doctor Strange, the new one. I think the last one I saw was the Spider-Man one where there was
it's
Spider-Man.
A parcel delivery. Give us
a minute. Okay, no problem. That's fine. I'm talking away while you're getting your parcel. You see, Amazon is here to destroy the Solar One Sci-Fi podcast. But you know, this reminds me a bit of the Star Trek era in the 90s or the early 2000s when a lot of people believed that because there have been so many new Star Trek shows at such a small sort of like time, we'd at that point have the Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, and then Enterprise. And also don't forget, this is the time when most of the seasons, when they were made, they had about 26 episodes per season, which is a lot of content, and a lot of the shows were going 2 series at the same time. So you would literally have a year's worth, 52 episodes per year, when we mixed in Voyager and DS9, and then Voyager, then Voyager ended, and then Enterprise was after. So this would have been during Next Generation, DS9, then DS9 and Voyager. We had 52 episodes a year. That's a lot of content. So now, with the new Star Trek series, there's a lot less episodes made per season. So it means that basically oversaturation could happen in the future, but I would hope that that would not be the case, because the amount of episodes that they make per year are so much less. With the Marvel, Martin's always been much more of a Marvel fan than I am. I like Marvel. I couldn't get into the new She-Hulk thing. I saw one episode of that and I thought it was just shite. But I liked WandaVision. I thought that was okay.
Oh, there we go.
Here he goes, and the man's back, and I've been filling in for you, sir.
All right, sorry about that.
No, I kept talking about Marvel and oversaturation and stuff. So have you got your parcel? You're right.
Yeah, I bought a 4-foot alien. And now I've got a parcel. It's up to here. I've had to leave it in doorway.
Oh, what a shame you can't unwrap it live on the podcast.
I know it's in a big box. I bought a computer game, but with the game you get a grey alien. It's
a grey alien. Do you mean not a xenomorph alien? You mean just like a generic alien?
Yeah, no, it's the game Destroy All Humans. So it's like a grey alien. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 4. I've got boxes about 6 foot. It's in hallway now.
So where do you keep all your stuff? You must have limited space to have all this stuff that you buy.
Oh, you're fine. Space.
I've got no space in my new house at all. It's ridiculous. I mean, I've had to get rid of so much stuff, but I do like your layout. I mean, you have in the past shown 1 or 2 things on various social medias of some stuff.
I like getting 1-to-1 scale stuff. You see.
Yeah.
I don't find the odd snob, but it's like I've got a Planet of the Apes rifle, and
yeah, that's right. You've got a selection of guns, haven't you, and things like that.
Yeah,
phasers and stuff.
Yeah, and I've just seen a spider, and how did that? That's going.
Did you see your face? You look absolutely bloody terrified.
I am. I'm not having that fucking running about in here. That's going.
Yeah, but try on my old days when I used to.
It's gone behind the bloody picture.
Oh, do you want to go and?
No.
Are you sure?
I don't kill them.
Do you get a little glass or something and sort of like get a bit of paper and get them out?
Yeah,
that's good. No, that's good. You're a nice person, kind of thing. In one of the old shows I used to do with my friends in America, I had a bloody mouse appear.
Oh.
A mouse appeared because I used to have a fruit machine. I went, oh! And I shouted out, and I said to my Ivan, my old co-host, said, "Look, I'm sorry, but I've got to go. I've got to get rid of this mouse." And he thought it was the most funniest thing. It's on my podcast bloopers.
No.
Which you can listen to on YouTube. It's only 9 hours long, so there's not many bloopers. But yeah, 9 hours. I think a spider's not quite the same as a mouse. So we are.
No, well, it's disappeared. I probably won't see it for another week.
That's right. Maybe he'll crawl across your face or something when you're asleep.
I wanted to ask you actually, since we don't have a lot of I know we've gone on about Marvel and that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I wanted to ask you. I never got around to asking you. What did you think to the Midwich Cuckoos?
I never saw it.
I thought you'd the new one. I thought you'd watched it by now.
No, I've not seen. I think we talked about it. I've not seen it.
You got the episodes, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I got the episodes, but do you know what?
You'd seen
No. I was going to, and like I said, I managed to get the episodes ready to go, but it was in the middle of the move. I will. You tell me about it. Do you think it's worth a watch?
It's. You're like me. You're a big fan of the original.
I don't actually.
The black and white one and the John Carpenter one.
No. I've not seen it. I know of it.
You've seen the original.
No,
with the kids.
I don't think I have seen it. So what is it about again? Remind me
it's
what
about them that village with the blonde-haired kids.
Oh, you mean Village of the Damned?
Village of the Damned.
Oh,
it's called
sorry.
Big Witch Cuckoo. That's what the series is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a remake of that, but obviously
that's
it's
what
done.
threw me. No, I love Village of the Damned because there was 2 versions of that. Is that one with Christopher Reeve? Or was that somebody else? I think.
Yeah. That was. John
Oh, sorry.
Carpenter.
Yeah. I saw that, but that was all right. But I haven't seen the new version. I haven't seen the new one.
All
yet.
right, yeah. We've from Life on what is it? Life on Mars. Keely Horse. She's the scientist. It's all right. It's all right. They've made it very 20.
Is it a British thing? Was it American?
Yeah, no, it's British. It's in and out. You see the force that makes everybody sleep, which is very interesting.
Do you know what? I'm gonna give that a go. I'm gonna give that a go.
He sort of got. There's a great little twist in it, which were unexpected.
Okay.
And I'm quite surprised at that, but it was a bit of hard work.
Do you know what?
Through it. You know what I mean?
We have talked about this before, and I had completely forgotten about this until you reminded me now. But I did like the originals, and it was a really clever original idea. So yeah, okay. If I might try and watch it and even review it.
It was all right. I won't reveal anything. It were made for today. They put more like complexities of a family in it. You know, like how it works with these.
Because
they are quite terrifying.
The way you describe it reminds me a bit of Under the Dome, where it was kind of because I thought that was shite.
Yeah, that was. I thought the first series.
First series is good, but it declined. It really went down.
Went right up its arse, that didn't it? That?
Yeah. We know. Did we review that? Did we review that?
No, I reviewed it, and I was quite.
No, we did. I'm sure we did. I'm trying to look at my posters.
It just became Invasion at Body Snatchers then, didn't it? Later on, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, it was just absolutely stupid. That it just went up its own ass. That didn't end. I was so annoyed about that. It was. I thought first series it were interesting.
We did review
this concept, and then it went right up its own backside.
Episode 107, Under the Dome. We've done it.
Oh right.
Yeah, I can't remember reviewing that with you actually.
I remember I bought all 3 seasons off eBay and watched them.
Yeah, and I think I told you that the first season. I think I tried not to give you spoilers, but the first season's pretty sound, and then it just tails off because it's quite a clever idea. Yeah. Okay,
I mean, it just went up its own arse, didn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty forgettable.
You know.
So, any other news? Because I've not got much. I mean, there's still talking about the new Star Trek series, which is a lot of it's going on about the animated series, which good luck to them. I'm not.
It's won an award apparently.
Yeah. Good luck to it. I mean, it's like I said, I'm just not an animated fan of stuff. Really.
Well, according to Sci-Trek, I don't know if you watch his channel.
Sci-Trek.
Sci-Trek. It's called Sci-Trek. He comes out. He's quite realistic on his news, and he's apparently Stargate is. I think what he's looking at could be getting a reboot.
Yeah, I go to Gate World. Oh, congratulations, Gate World! They've just got 100,000 subscribers.
Wow,
good,
really good. Yeah, awesome.
Well done. Yeah, and they really deserve it because I love their content.
How do you feel about a reboot with that?
I don't want a reboot. I want a continuation.
I just don't think you can do it. I just it's gonna be it's gonna be.
Well, what I've heard because I like I said, going back to Gate World the other day, they had some people on there, and they are reckoning, and of course they don't know what potentially could happen is that they will do a new reboot movie and then do a TV series follow-up based on the reboot movie. They cannot do that. It's Stargate.
It's going to be the same concepts.
But why not continue it?
That's what I mean. You got all that canon,
and you got all that build-up from those the decades that were. So, what's it?
I mean, 15 years.
15 years. Yeah, and plus the movie before that.
Yeah.
And surely, well, what they're going to be thinking is that people won't remember the original one. Let's start it all over again. But I don't see how you can because it's not something that's easy to replicate in a different update.
No, you get a new team. You say in 2022, there's colonies out in space. There's a new threat, a new sort of thing, and the human race has found out about this project. and there's political ramifications.
It has to have. It has to be a continuation of the original one.
And then we get some answers to Atlantis and Stargate Universe as well, and then we drop all that and we move into something new with the odd guest appearance from certain characters. I don't understand why they're not doing that. I just can't understand it.
I mean, for the first time now, I'm starting to hear that Amazon are now strongly interested in doing something because they've acquired the rights. But this, because it was, I can't remember, is it Paul something? The guy that did the others. He's the one that submitted a big kind of proposal for a continuation, and that's been shot down in flames, which tells me that's a very bad sign. That a guy who knows Stargate.
If it is, I'm not going to watch it.
I think I'd probably
I'll take a look at it,
yeah,
but I won't be. I don't think I'll be jumping on. I think we've had the best of it. I really do. If you want to keep this going, then you start with a direct sequel with a new team.
Yeah, but it often goes wrong. Look at Discovery, how that started off. They tried to reboot Star Trek in many ways, but pretend it wasn't.
That's why they sent them 1,000 years into the future, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Because they couldn't get round it, could they?
And they learnt their lessons, and then they got the prequel with Strange New Worlds, which is brilliant. And but that's the only one that's really knocked the ball out of the park so far in regards to the new live action stuff.
On Sci Trek, Paramount's in debt.
Is it?
In billion. Well, they solvent, but they owe a lot of money.
Okay.
A lot of.
How about Paramount Plus?
Well, they were going on about how because it's like the Star Trek projects are not coming out as quick as what they want now.
Really?
They're slowing them down quite a bit. Where's
you mean new
Section
projects?
31?
Well,
all these other spin-offs that were the Rafa Khan, the Khan miniseries.
Because Picard finished production, I think several months ago now. You would think now that they are, because I think there's likely we're going to get a 7 and 9 series of some sort of but they have been talking about some sort of sequel to Picard, which they might be doing, but they can't give too much information because it could spoil stuff in respect of Picard season 3.
Yeah, because this Sci-Tech guy, we're on about streaming networks, and he reckons that Paramount, they might sell the franchise itself,
to whom?
Or sort of sell the license to a big streaming company, because Paramount streaming is not doing well at all. It's losing money.
Okay.
And Disney Plus is losing money as well. But apparently Disney Plus is meant to turn a profit next year.
That's because Disney Plus is still relatively new, but Paramount's newer.
That's why they bought all.
So that's what I think. What's going on is that you start off a new network and it takes a while to kick into gear.
Yeah.
Disney's huge though, and Disney will make the money back.
But it's back catalogue. That's why they bought Fox, because they wanted
because they wanted more of it. Yeah, and they're more of a.
They've
incentive.
now got one of the biggest, one of the best catalogues.
Well, they probably could afford to buy Paramount. Can you imagine?
Well, he said he wasn't selling it. He was selling the license for it.
So that would be the rights to show Star Trek on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and take it your own way. But you'd I suppose it'd be like the BBC with Doctor Who and Disney.
Yeah.
But I've got a feeling the BBC's going to get ripped off with them. I don't know. I've got a feeling it's. I think they could open a universe up and there's going to be a lot of this stuff we're going to have to pay for.
Well,
we'll get the flagship show.
Do you think we'll get a BBC Plus streaming network eventually in a British version of Disney?
Well, I'm not paying for it.
No, but what I'm saying is, if they did that, I know. But what I'm saying is,
iPlayer is crap as it is,
Well, yeah, I suppose iPlayer is like a similar thing already. But
yeah.
I mean, there's nothing on live TV that I watch apart from Doctor Who anyway. And we still
no, same for me. Yeah.
So I don't know.
But this guy, you should check out. He's very good. He goes right into it, and he reckons that because Peacock, that other streaming network, is losing money.
Well, like Hulu as well. So there are a few, aren't there?
Hulu's quite a few of them. But what he said, the average normal person is not going to be sitting there thinking, I'm paying out for 8 networks a month.
It's a fight to get the most power, and I think Disney Plus will win. I don't know how Netflix is doing. I was going to say, how's Netflix?
I've got Netflix, and I'm watching. Like, I've been watching Sandman on there at the moment, but that's the first thing I've gone back to in about 4 months since I last watched Netflix. I look at it and there's never anything on there. I'm cancelling my subscriptions, getting cancelled at Christmas. Well, I don't even know why I'm paying Amazon, to be honest.
Well, I
hardly watched that.
I've been so busy recently that I've not really watched a lot anyway. But
I watch more YouTube.
Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube actually. I like a lot of the actual stuff that's on there. I like a lot of reviewers, and there's
I do.
I like Who Culture's good, Trek Culture's good, and Dr. Freedom's another guy, a Doctor Who fan, who's a really nice guy.
I agree with this. He reckons there's, in the end, a lot of these streaming networks, they're going to start merging with each other. They're going to start eventually. It's a bit like 3 big, and that'll be it.
It's a bit like the old days where it used to be BBC and ITV in the UK, obviously, and it was they were the main rivals. And then of course you've got Channel 4, then you've got Channel 5, then you've got the rivals with the Sky. In the end, it's just a different form of getting the biggest entities for showing TV. They're just shown in a different way.
Yeah.
And as you rightly say, it's too competitive a market. You're not going to get someone unless you've got a lot of money and a lot of spare time to get 4 or 5 streaming.
I remember when I first got Sky.
I never got into Sky.
I got when it first come out. You got 2 boxes.
Okay.
It's really like I think it was 1990. It come out, and they were in paper phone. This number will give you this setup of a remote. You got a box where you put a digital card in, and then you turn over, but your remote box. And I phoned up, and 4 days later they came round to my house and they installed it in a dish outside. And when all I wanted was the worker guy to go, and when he cleared off, right, I made a cup of tea, and I'd gone beyond Channel 4. There was nothing beyond Channel 4 except the video channel.
Yeah.
Your VCR.
Yes.
And I went beyond Channel 4, and suddenly I was into these worlds of. There must have been 100 channels of absolute crap.
Shite. Absolute crap.
And there were European channels
QVC,
and all this.
Yeah. Absolute
but
crap.
I were like, my God, it was like my brain had opened like a new pathway up. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
And it were mind blowing. And within half an hour, the house was packed of friends of mine. They all wanted to know, and I couldn't get rid of them because they all wanted to go on the remote control.
But they wouldn't want to come around now, though, would they?
No. But I saw MTV for the first time, and that
MTV was good. There was another music.
VH1, wasn't it? VH1.
Yeah, was it VH? Yeah, it might be VH1. Yeah, I remember that was quite good.
I don't know if that's still going, but
no, I mean,
is MTV still going then?
I don't know. I've not seen it on anything, but then like I said, it might be there. I'm just not. I don't think it is. At least not. In the
I remember
UK.
when the Sci-Fi channel started.
I never got that. That.
I did. I was there. I watched it first night it started.
It used to be good, but it's lost it.
Well, no, it's short crap.
Yeah, it's just all sport and stuff now. It's all bloody sport now.
I've not seen Sci-Fi channel.
No.
I know they changed its name. And
yeah.
I just don't have Sci-Fi. I just think
it's not Sci-Fi. It's sport.
Crap.
It used to. I think the last time
I heard they show a lot of wrestling on there.
Yeah, wrestling. Right? That's it. Yeah.
Right. Well, why would you want that?
On a Sci-Fi channel? I hate wrestling. I don't want to watch that. What do you know what I mean? No, I don't know.
So I've not had Sky in years. No.
No. I at one point for some reason we were able to get Sky on our conventional thing. This was a long time ago, and I think that's when I first started watching Stargate SG-1. So because BBC never showed it. And of course, Sky One.
When I was living in Leeds, where I lived, you could, for some reason, with council, for some reason, if you had you lived in a council flat, or in this certain area in Leeds where I lived, For some reason, on your normal TV, you could watch Sky One and Sky News.
That's what happened
It
to
was
me.
just added. I don't know why you never paid for it.
I wasn't an
It
account.
was just that.
I just something happened.
I used to watch Next Generation on a latest episodes, and I wasn't paying for Sky.
No.
It never made sense. That I thought, why is, and that were coming through on the normal TV.
And of course, they're way ahead of the
had an aerial or something.
Yeah, and they're way ahead of the BBC, where the next generation is like season 1 or something, and the Sky was on like season 6 or something. So
it were crazy.
No, it's fun.
And it went for a few years, and then they pulled it, they dropped it all. One day it wasn't there.
I think that's what happened to mine. It's like just disappeared. It was really weird. Any other news that you got at your end? Because I haven't got really much else.
Nothing. I mean, I think we've covered it. I mean,
I think so. No, there's not much.
I mean, the Stargate, they're going to screw that up now. So
yeah.
Just be prepared for them to ruin that. Doctor quite sort of sat on the fence.
Oh, I heard that the new Star Wars series, The Bad Batch, apparently it's had a lot of issues with regard to the production. Apparently, it's been a very different production to do. Because I think this is going to be like a Stranger Things sort of Star Wars series. Although I don't know much about it, although that's live action. But apparently, there's a lot of people who've been working for it felt that they were not appreciated. It was a tough shoot apparently. So not that will affect it in the end. It might be that once we finally see it, it might look very good. I think it's going to be more of a fantasy, sort of like more Mandalorian things, rather than the more overly talkative, serious Andor, which we've already reviewed, and we were underwhelmed with that. So I'm up for checking this one out. It feels a bit more conventional Star Wars.
Yeah, I tried the cartoon series and I couldn't get into it at all.
What, Rebels? Is it Rebels?
Not Rebel, Bad Batch. The one
that I gave it out. I saw, because it was
episode 8, and I just
I was about the same. Because I watched Clone Wars, which I thought was all right. It was all right, but I couldn't get into the Bad Batch at all. But Skeleton Crew is not an animated; it's a live action. So.
Oh right, okay. Right.
Yeah, so we got. Oh, no, that's why I thought, as you said that, I thought you didn't know. Yeah, this is a live action series.
Right.
And it looks like it's going to be quite interesting, actually. I'm trying to see who's out in it now. I don't think the actors. There's Jude Law's in it, so he's he's the actual star of the show. And apparently, it's got like teenage kids in it or something. So I think it's going to be sort of a Star Wars, sort of Stranger Things aged. Characters in this show. I'll give it a go. Like I said, it can't be any worse than Andor. At least, well, it could be, but at least let's just have a bit more action, please, and a bit more Star Wars feeling like Star Wars.
Andor.
All right, Martin. I think we're done for today's show. Yeah. We're not sure what we're doing next week, so we've got a couple of ideas.
Is it Christmas next week?
Yeah, we're going to do one more and then it's the Christmas break. So we might do Black Mirror. Oh, no, that was that film you said? I put it on your... Hang on, what is it?
It's up to... I've not seen it. I mean, you can get it if we get
I tell you what we can do. If we can find
Santa Claus from Mars.
Santa Claus from Mars. I'll have a look for it. If not, then we'll come back with something next week. You'll just have to tune in because we haven't decided yet. So what I'll do is I think we'll finish this episode with the very downbeat but interesting, hopefully YouTube will let me play it, just the last few seconds of the end of Beneath the Planet of the Apes with the end narration, because you got what a way to finish a podcast. So
now.
Well,
exactly.
I agree. Merry Christmas.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, Martin, thank you very much. We will catch you next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi podcast, and don't
live long and prosper.
Don't press any very big red buttons, okay? Like we're going to see now. Thank you.
Bloody bastard. In one of the countless billions of galaxies in the universe lies a medium-sized star, and one of its satellites, a green and insignificant planet, is now dead.